bra. Ja.
Green chair.
I have my questions here.
Ooh, that's a good one. You got a good one there.
Does no one else really vibe with this music?
I'm
Oh,
good,
my
I'm good.
microphone's working,
Great
maybe.
music.
Yep. Okay, so right.
Not sure if my microphone's working, but if
Hey,
it is,
sorry guys.
I'm just gonna start sharing my thoughts before the panel starts.
Hey everyone.
The coffee
Sorry.
was pretty good.
Up, here we are.
Conference, I'm having fun.
Hello everyone. Thanks for being there. Thank you guys. We have one last panelist who is joining. He will be there in about 1 minute. So I think maybe we'll start with a quick introduction of the topic and of the first panelist here. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. There is a lot of question about how to bridge the physical and digital world. So basically being able to display your NFTs in the real world is one of the most obvious way to bridge these two worlds. So we have experts today. We have four experts today that will be able to tell us what is possible, what it means to basically display NFTs in the real world. So maybe do you guys want to start to introduce yourself?
Oh my God. I mean, once you get me talking about myself, I never stop. So just get ready. But
In a minute.
In a minute. Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob Loewenstein, so I'm head of growth at Spatial. We like to think of ourselves as the most beautiful and accessible way to share cultural experiences in the metaverse on any device. Could be in web, could be in mobile, could be in VR. I've been with Spatial about 4 years. Used to be their investor at Samsung Next. And before that, I was a grad student at MIT where I founded VR AR at MIT, which is MIT's overarching VR AR group. So I've been pretty passionate about this metaverse stuff for a while, and get ready for me to put you asleep with all of my crazy ideas about it. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to someone who's way more articulate than I am, Joe.
Thank you, Jacob. I'm Joe Saavedra. Great to be here. Founder and CEO of Infinite Objects. Infinite Objects is a company that creates authenticated physicals for NFT and video content in general. You can see a lot of our products in the living room through those doors. But my resume is like half of yours. I have
half as long, twice as powerful.
It's like a macchiato.
Wow.
I don't drink coffee, so I don't even know what that
is that
means.
weaker? Yeah.
Is there
there milk
weaker
in
or
that? I don't know.
And yeah, over here on my left, Guido, please.
Yeah, so my name is Guido. I've basically been involved in the whole crypto space since around 2017. Was a heavy supporter of XRP and Ripple. So I've been trading that for a while, made a bit of money with it, not too much. And eventually, let's be honest, I was pretty skeptical about NFTs at first because the whole community is pretty tribalist. Not the NFT community, but the whole crypto community, and I got kind of sucked up in the fact that an NFT was just a JPEG for a real short time, but at some point it clicked, and I really understood what this technology could bring forward. So recently I co-founded a company called Diara, and what we do, we have a display solution, so we provide screens, IPS screens, and our unique selling point at this point is that we provide heavily customized frames. So for instance, you have a museum or a gallery or even a nice home, and you want a customized frame, then you reach out to us. We connect you with a network of frame makers. There are woodworkers, real artisans, and yeah, we can customize it to your needs. So yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you.
My name's Luke. I just landed half an hour ago, so
You made it!
Yes.
Woo!
Here.
So my background is I've been in crypto for a few years. I worked as a physiotherapist in healthcare, and through Twitter and through just networking and making connections, I ended up falling into some work with the Nemesis, who are an already established metaverse that you can go onto a mobile desktop already. It's not something that's being promised, it's already been delivered. We have land sales, we have a token drop coming very soon as well. But basically right now we have an immersive metaverse available to all who visited already. And what we do is we work with different NFT projects and companies, and we provide customized worlds and lands for them to do their own advertising, to give their community some utility through being able to congregate in a certain area as well. So I've been working as the community manager there for about 6 or 7 months and been learning every day. So
Cool.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. So yeah, there is definitely a need. I think that everyone has heard this question one day, is that when you talk about NFTs, a lot of people consider that if it's on the screen, that doesn't exist, that has no value. So it has to be physical, it's something you have to touch. So that's why we have more and more, this need of, feeling, experiencing the NFT. So maybe let's start with this question. How people today enjoy their NFT? When you own an artwork, when you own something digital, where do you see it? How do you enjoy it today? Where do you start?
Should we go down the line? I don't know.
Yeah, we can start with that, and then.
I think I think that there are a couple of different communities that buy NFTs for different reasons, right? I think there are some people that buy NFTs, and I'm not shaming anyone, purely as a financial investment.
Obviously.
There are some people who buy NFTs because they appreciate the aesthetics of the NFT. And they like either the experience of those aesthetics or the aesthetics say something about themselves, right? There are people who buy NFTs because the NFT becomes a gateway or some sort of signifier of membership in a particular community, and they like, there's a value to participating in that community, right? And then some people buy NFTs because there's utility behind the NFT, right? Like I could literally do a thing with the NFT that I could not do before. And so I feel like those are your kind of primary categories, and whether you're experiencing the NFT in the real world or you're experiencing it in the digital world, I still think those categories hold. And so in spatial, for example, we see examples of all 4 use cases, right? So there are some people who have spatial galleries because they've invested a lot of money in their NFT and they want to flip it perhaps, and this is a way they think to generate excitement about their NFT. There are some people that create incredible experiences because they either want to share these aesthetics with their world and it says something about them. But we also have a template called Spatial Home that's more private, and it's almost like inviting people into your digital home because people want to have a more private way of talking about themselves or showing off in the metaverse. We've done experiences, for example, with like the Utah Jazz, where they token gated the experience, and buying the NFT gave them membership into the experience where they could meet up with athletes in the metaverse, right? And coming soon, actually, this quarter, we're launching brand new avatars with legs.
Wow.
Right? And then part of that is going to be, part of that is going to include custom wearables and avatars as well. And so you should expect in spatial people buying NFTs as a means of self-expression, and that's coming soon. So that was my first part, overlong answer. I'm going to give the alley-oop to Joe now.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think even if we distill those categories that you listed into just 2, one of them being these kind of speculative investors who see this as an opportunity to make money, no hate, but the other side being someone who really cares about whatever it is. And it could be because there is utility, it could be because they're a part of a community, it could be because they're a fan of an artist or of the Utah Jazz. And our product, which I'll demo in a moment, is very much for that second category, right? You care about the content that you're purchasing or the token that you've acquired, and being able to either enjoy it, experience it, live with it in physical space, either to show off in your home or at a gallery, is really why we exist, right? We're for that, very much that community. And so I do think that metaverse, has a huge future, a very bright future, but the reality is we don't live in the metaverse yet.
Yeah.
And so I think that until we do, we're always going to really appreciate beautiful objects and kind of items in our lives. So I'll come back to that.
I was told I'm allowed to disagree, so I'm going to say we do live in the metaverse. Just wait, we'll get into it.
We'll go back to that right after, yeah.
All right, so yeah, to answer the question, how people can enjoy their NFT at this point in time, I really think it comes back to the verification, right? Because it's more than a JPEG, and the fact that it's more than that when displaying it, comes down to the verification, right? So to verify something, you need not necessarily a brand, but you need consensus of the public on that. And so I think with what you guys are doing with infinite objects, or I think Nifty has, for example, print on demand. You know, when you see a work like that, you know that, at least when it's not a fake one, of course, you know that it's real, and the value in the display is there. So another thing where you see this, of course, platforms like Twitter that have verification and authentication of NFTs. This is another way where you can enjoy the concept of an NFT as of now. But yeah, when you talk about displaying it at home or for galleries, I don't think there's a proper solution yet, and that's really the hole we're trying to plug with the IRL.
Okay.
I don't know, for me, having been in the community, I guess, for about a year, I think I see people enjoying NFTs in a way because even a regular person can build their own brand, build their own identity a bit more, where usually you have celebrities building brand and influencers building their brand. But now, just as a regular collector of NFTs, you can build your own brand, you can build your own identity. I think a lot of people enjoy doing that because it gives them purpose in this space as well. But big fan of infinite objects, by the way. With the balance, I think it's paramount that there is a balance between IRL displays and enjoying NFTs in real life and having them as displays or posters or stickers or whatever it is. But also enjoying them in the metaverse, and I really think it's hugely important to have that balance.
Mm-hmm.
Preach.
Absolutely. I have another one, and maybe I'll start with you, Guido, because you mentioned something which is super interesting. You mentioned the use case of basically displaying something at home and for galleries as well. So do you think today the use case is mostly to display things, you know, in public or for private use case? What do you think is the priority right now for people?
Well, so like I mentioned earlier, I feel like there's a lot of tribalism when I started investing. Shortly after, there were a lot of ICOs, so initial coin offerings. And you saw all these people getting together, hating on each other on Twitter, right? And I feel that in the NFT community, to some extent, this is happening as well, right? So I think that, you know, with art, there might have been a lot of regular art, traditional art, a lot of display of wealth. But I think the transition that we're in right now, you see that there's also a display of ideology or being part of a community.
There is a message.
Sorry?
There is a message. It's
Yeah.
not only about owning
Yeah.
something, it's about telling something.
Yeah, and to get back to your question, I do think that as of now, I see that it's mostly public. So but I do think that we are, because the people walking around here are really interested in the art and everything. So I do think we're making the transition to more private enjoyment. But for now, I do think there is a lot of utility in the public display, or whether again that's wealth or identity, or there's a lot of use cases. But
I think that in the context of a gallery or a museum, things like provenance and authenticity, we trust. We trust that institution. I'm here and I know what this is and what I'm looking at is real, or authenticated and when we talk about collectors individually, I think that there's such a demand right now. There's so many people saying, what can I do with my NFT? And I think that's, obviously there's so many opportunities in terms of utility, et cetera, but our product is very much a beautiful way to be able to enjoy the content, to feel like I'm a collector, I am an owner, and this is verifiable and authenticated as well. And so I feel like there's use cases on both sides. The last thing I'll say here is that when we talk about public, things like Twitter and the metaverse, I think that is the public, right? That is really me representing myself to the rest of the world through this PFP or interacting in a public space in a metaverse platform. I feel like that is, when we talk about private and public, I think that is really important. So.
That's like a crazy interesting point. We deal with the tension between the two all the time. So just like an example. So we started off with an avatar system where everyone basically either had to be themselves, like you took a photo of yourself and generated a realistic avatar from a selfie using machine learning, or maybe you could join as an anonymous avatar. And as we grew more within like the degen community, that became a point of tension, because obviously like there are particular conditions within which people are comfortable revealing more and more about their identity. And so we've just been seeing more and more of that, where there are it's honestly like just a dogma for some people. Like some people really believe that in the metaverse they want to express a different part of their identity or be anon, and some people don't. And it's part of it is very related to the assets that they hold. Like there are some people that really they hold some extremely valuable NFTs and don't want to be doxxed because they think it's a security risk. Obviously, right? There's a certain vulnerability that they're trying to protect against. And so in spatial, in that circumstance, we allow people to have totally private galleries where they control whoever has access to it. And we're definitely like thinking more and more about how we allow people that want to remain anon to like have a very participatory experience in the metaverse without having to reveal a lot about themselves. Because we've definitely noticed more, like, I think there are some folks that are like, like look at my NFTs type of like people, but then there are some people, I don't know, if I have like a Fidenza or something that's like extremely valuable, I don't know if I necessarily want the whole world to know that, because then I become a target. And so I think people are starting to wake up to those risks and act accordingly.
That's right. You don't necessarily flex about your NFTs when you are basically a multimillionaire. That may be a little risky.
Yeah.
What is your point about that, Luke?
I just think it's all relative to the person. If I think about my friends and community who are collecting NFTs, you'll have a few people that would love to display them in the metaverse, and then you've got a few people who won't even go near the metaverse because for various reasons. And they're not into gaming, they're not into the whole idea of the metaverse yet, because it's still a relatively new concept, I guess, although it's not really, but it is, if you know. So I think, it's all relative to the person. I have physical displays. I have displays in the metaverse as well. There's obviously massive pros and cons to both. And I haven't felt the tension yet between the two. Maybe I'm just not in the game long enough to to see that tension or be part of it. But I'll be just looking to kind of mediate that and just try to, again, like I said earlier, just reiterate the point of the importance of balance between the metaverse and IRL stuff,
So we're talking a lot about metaverses, and I don't think we are the only ones today. So can you maybe try to describe what it is? What is this experience when you experience an NFT in a metaverse? If you had to describe that to your grandmother, how would you describe that?
To my grandmother.
Yeah.
Or grandfather.
Okay. I basically tell her it's almost like gaming, different online games, Call of Duty and all those games that she would know I play, and probably see me play. I would tell her the different things you can buy in that, the different worlds you live in and the different experiences you're having online in those games has kind of evolved into a more regular type of access where you can just come into a metaverse as yourself or as a different avatar or as your NFT representing you. And you can experience a community digitally. And obviously this has all been boosted because of the pandemic and everything, where people have had to, or have been forced to look elsewhere in a way, to seek community, to enjoy community. And it's very easy in the metaverse to just jump in, to sign in, especially with ours, and just meet new people, talk to new people, play different games, go shopping, visit art galleries, and have all these kind of IRL experiences, but in a digital world. So I guess how I'd say it in a sentence is just that. It's a way of living, but digitally, I guess.
Okay.
So if I could put my 2 cents on that, and I'm not the metaverse expert, so correct me if I'm wrong.
How dare you?
I'll try. So, and I'm gonna stress this is not my idea, I heard it on YouTube, but I'm still gonna share it because I love it. So it's basically this guy, and he explains it as a pack of cards, right? So with the pack of cards, you can own the pack of cards. And then you can go to a poker game and play poker with it. Or you can go to a blackjack game. I don't know any other games, so I'm just gonna use it. So you can go to a blackjack game with it and play blackjack with it. But at the end of the day, you still own the cards. But then you can transfer between games or metaverses, and then within the game or within the metaverse, the value is provided, right? I mean, you can lose 100K on blackjack if you want, but the cards on themselves don't mean a lot. So I really like that analogy where you own the NFT, but then what it could mean cross-platform in different games, for example, as a skin, or I don't know, what all is possible. But I think that really resonated with me.
Okay. And so I think we know that basically NFTs can be a lot of different things, from metaverse parcels to domain names to collectibles to artwork. So are all NFTs suitable to be showcased, in real life, on screens or something? Does it make sense to display all kind of NFTs? What do you think?
There's a huge variety, obviously, of file types that are now getting minted every day, whether that's audio, whether it's 3D. I think that we are visual, animals, right? We really look at things, and when we think about fine art, obviously it's always been visual. So we've definitely tailored our products to, accommodate for moving images and video content. But yeah, there's a lot coming in the world, I think. You want to
Your
see it?
fans want to see a demo.
No.
something to
I'm
show?
waiting for the right question. No, there's the provocative.
Yeah, there's a whole plug in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
built in.
But
Looks like we have a surprise.
to build on that, I mean, I think that, so what's been interesting about Spatial is that we've found that people are displaying pretty much all kinds of NFTs in Spatial. And part of what's interesting about Spatial is you can craft a visual experience around the NFT, no matter what kind of NFT it is, to try and accentuate the experience, right? So for example, if it is an audio NFT and you want to have a listening party, you could bring people into a space that encourages that type of behavior, listening together, sharing of thoughts around it, branding around the artist or something like that. If it's a purely visual NFT, you can do so in a gallery environment. I would say the category of NFTs that probably is most unique within the metaverse are fully immersive worlds and spaces as NFTs, right? So the thing that's been really interesting that's happened in Spatial is and by the way, everything I say is, I literally mean no shade, because wag me, I support what everyone's doing, but we don't sell land. We've never been big believers in land sales, because when we talk to people that buy land, they're like, I don't know what to do with this. I can't build on it. I have no idea how to use the tools. And so our big thing is with one click in Spatial, you can really easily set up your space. But a lot of people they don't have time to go and build a virtual space from nothing. I mean, we only have 45 minutes to talk about it. I don't have time to build a virtual space right now. Not yet. But one of the really cool things that's happened is that artists in our community, they said, don't worry, we got you. And so they're now building these virtual spaces, and whether people are attracted to them based on the aesthetic, or it makes sense based on the community someone's a member in, they are now buying those virtual spaces as templates to start from and build their NFT experience. So for example, Museo, which is one NFT we mentioned in partnership, very classic gallery, but then this one called Bozoverse is actually turning into its whole virtual world within Spatial, where there are going to be Bozo avatars and clothing. Isoblock was this amazing photographer, trash hand. You should check him out, 500,000 followers on Instagram. He's so dope. He literally recreated a sort of a desolate urban environment that he snuck into, where he took some of his photos to really enhance the immersiveness when people went to his actual photo exhibition. And here's the really crazy thing. One of his fans who bought an Isoblock then went, and he already had all this amazing custom graffiti in it. They tagged on top of the graffiti and remixed the virtual space within Spatial now. And this amazing Korean artist did this. And so now we're seeing, so not only is there utility and aesthetic value in the virtual space, but it's actually serving as a jumping off point for creation of NFTs on top of NFTs.
Okay.
So if it's turtles all the way down, I guess it's also NFT.
This is a meta NFT collaboration, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but it's incredible that it's happening now.
Okay. So. Any other thoughts about that? Nope? Good? Cool. We were talking about grandparents previously. So yeah, I think it's really important to, this kind of bridge between, physical and digital worlds are extremely important to probably onboard new people. So do you think, basically, this kind of showcase of NFTs on screens or something like that, like we can see on the shopping district. Do you think that's really the best way or the most innovative way to onboard the people that don't really understand what are NFTs?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Do you want to start?
Sure.
I've got a lot to say.
Yeah, you got, okay, I'll try to keep it short. No, but so, for instance, let's say my mom doesn't understand an NFT really, right? But she does understand aesthetic value. So let's say she would walk around in the gallery, for example, and see an NFT on a screen. She could buy that, she could understand that, and there's no problems there. Once she owns it, she can start to understand it, and at some point she has to. So I think it's a really good gateway, and I think that we should really, as a community, get behind this. Because, for instance, when we tried to open a bank account, first of all, they didn't understand what we were doing, which is fine. So we took the call on Friday. The guy was like, yeah, well, it might take 2 to 4 weeks to open the account. We have to discuss it internally with the team, like what this product means. Got a call back on Monday, and they said, listen, guys, you're not going to open a bank account with us at all because it's just too risky regarding NFTs and crypto and all of that. So I do think, just in general, that we really have a lot to do as a community to educate and to, even maybe lobby at some time, who knows. But I do think that the displays really, really are a gateway to that solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm going to first describe our product a little bit. I've got one here.
The surprise.
Our product is very unique. It has no buttons or switches at all.
What is it called again?
It's called Infinite Object.
Oh, wow.
And maybe you should hold it, actually,
Yeah,
Jacob. Why don't you hold it, and I'm going to point at it. What's unique about our product is it is permanent and immutable. Just like the blockchain, you can never change the content that is on it. And what that means is we've actually built in provenance onto this physical. If you rotate to the backside, Jacob, you will see a unique serial identifier in the form of a QR code that is directly linked to the token that Jacob is holding. In this case, it's artist David McLeod that we've worked with a few times, amazing creator. The unique elements about the physical create a lot of opportunities, specifically around your question around claiming and what does it mean to, create a physical twin of a token, obviously authenticated and verified. But if you think about the onboarding process, again, we are right now at a conference. We actually have distributed a few hundred Infinite Objects here. They have the capability of actually becoming the claim portal, similarly to a POAP, which is a very popular NFT platform. You could claim your token on chain from the physical, meaning you could purchase your NFT as an object, then asynchronously later on claim it on chain at your,
That brings a huge question to me, to be honest. So basically, if I have to purchase this one, basically I'll receive the NFT and the physical one, right?
Right. Well, let me also.
Good question.
Yeah, it's a great
How
question.
does it work?
So today, I'm excited to announce we are launching a Web3 application that allows you, as a collector on Ethereum, to verify your ownership of your collection and print an authenticated NFT print on our website, infiniteobjects.com.
Woo!
So it's very exciting.
That's a good announcement.
Thank you. It is a big announcement. We did launch the exact same user flow and authenticated experience with Top Shot about 2 months ago. I don't know, is everyone here NBA Top Shot collectors? Yeah? So that you can also do. That's on Flow blockchain, but Ethereum we are launching today. So it's really exciting. That is the kind of primary way. I already own my NFT, and I would like to own a physical that I get to show off in this kind of format. But this claiming opportunity, I think, is really exciting.
Okay.
The idea of distributing NFTs physically first and then collecting them on chain afterwards. So thank you so much for
My pleasure.
Look at
I've
that.
never felt this kind of power before in my hands.
And if you are interested in changing your NFT on a display, then you can head over to iam-diara.com. Since everyone is plugging, I just
Let's
have
get
to
the
throw
plugs
it.
all in right now.
The one thing I want to add about onboarding is so Spatial's, we're at a funny intersection because it's like VR and AR is like kind of a step beyond what most people feel comfortable doing. And blockchain-based experiences, it also generally feel a step like as much as you could be at a conference here and be like, oh my God, everyone's into this. Like no one's into this. This is like a tiny fraction of the world. And so it's all of our jobs to try and grow the pie and onboard more people. And so I think we've noticed a couple of things, which is number one is like you kind of have to, there's Web3, but you sort of have to meet people halfway a little bit between Web2, which I hope is not like too controversial to say, but like, so for example, like saying, you know, if we insisted that everyone had a MetaMask login, that would be a huge non-starter for a lot of users that are just like, I have absolutely no idea how to set this up. So, you know, you can still log in with some of your more classic logins in Spatial. Secondly, like 3D as a framework to experience the internet, while like very immediately cool in a passive sense, is very, it's not always intuitive for people to navigate. It took a long time building the 2D internet for people to finally get like, okay, this is a hyperlink. I click here. Oh, I swipe. This is what happens. And so we really invest a lot of time in like building onboarding and visual demonstration into the platform. B, making it a platform you can get into just with one click, even if you don't log in. So, you know, if you have no idea what you're doing, you just one click. I think we're launching, this might be a spoiler, but I think we're launching autoplay like this coming week. So you could literally not do anything and it will take you around the virtual space. And so we're really trying to like meet people where they are and say like, even if you have no idea what you're doing, the metaverse is still for you. You're gonna get something out of this. And then over time, you know, through our visual demonstrations, through like little cues and things that will pop up in your experience, we're gonna make you feel like you're learning more and more, just so that, you know, after a week of usage, you go from like, I'm just sitting back and watching this to, oh yeah, I feel comfortable now building my own gallery or world of my own. And I think it's very important to not only like onboard people from like the DeFi aspect, but from the design aspect as well.
Okay.
Does the autoplay work with your legs?
Listen, man,
How does that work?
You know, that's a really, I'm not prepared to talk about that at this time,
Right.
but I will say that leg movement looks beautiful on autoplay,
Yeah.
and you're just going to have to tune in a couple weeks to find out how beautiful it is. So.
Ah, cool. I can't wait. It looks like we are running out of time, so maybe one last one. If you think about the future, in 10 years from now, how do you think people will actually enjoy their NFTs? Maybe if you want to start, Luke?
Yeah, thought about this question a bit, and I'm going to reiterate the same point. I'm hoping that in 10 years' time that we haven't just delved into this digital metaverse and become people who have no real identity in real life as well. I do advocate for the metaverse and all it kind of proposes and all it can bring to everyday living for people. And the accessibility it can give to people, and the fun and enjoyment, the community building and everything. But I do think it's important that, I mean, like you were saying, with enjoying the aesthetics of your NFT in real life, in your house, up on your wall, everything as well, there's huge pros to that as well. I don't think that's ever going to go away, because I'm hoping it never goes away, because there's a different appreciation that comes with that. But within the metaverse as well, I think the whole VR, AR is just going to be mind-blowing. I think we've really got to the tip of the iceberg with that stuff as well. So I think in 10 years' time, it's going to be a lot more normalized. There's going to be a hell of a lot more people onboarded. So it's going to be a lot more global and involved. And I think it's going to be pretty wild. But I think there's always going to be space for both real-life displays and also metaverse development as well.
All right, so since we're short on time, I'll just keep it very short. So for Daiara, it's even in the name, it's spelled out D-A-I-A-R-A. So we're really hyped about artificial intelligence, artificial reality. We think there's a lot to be gained there, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
It's going to be authenticated physical. It's going to be infinite objects, obviously. I think that we have, 10 years ago, we all thought we were going to be living in VR. We're not. We're definitely not. Sorry. Jake.
I'm not actually here, so that was my big reveal, but sorry.
I'll let you handle that outside of the stage, guys.
I think it's going to be a combination of things, right? Until we've got brain-computer interfaces where we're just literally living our lives in an actual metaverse, I think there's going to always be this mixture of going places, seeing things, decorating our lives, really surrounding ourselves with things that we care about. And I think that's always going to be a reality until it's not. That being said, what's coming, I think, online is really exciting. And yeah, for now, we're just trying to really just make the world a little more beautiful, the world that we live in today.
Yeah. You know, no one was actually expecting NFTs to become that big that soon, so who knows about VR, actually.
I'll come at it just from the other side, which is to say, in 10 years, like the dream that I think we're trying to build at Spatial is I want a whole new class of worker to be able to quit their job and focus all their time on just creativity and that creative passion. Like if we achieve our mission, then that will be how we know if people can do that and build like a real living and a livelihood on top of their creativity. And so everything we do over the next 10 years is going to be enabling creators to create more and more and share more and more and recognize more of the value from their creations in the metaverse. And if I have to give like one plug, we're spatial.io, and one thing that's going on right now is we're doing this incredible Peace Pavilion exhibition. All the art in that exhibition is on sale, and 100% of the proceeds are going to support refugees and victims of the war in Ukraine. And then we're also selling a recreation of the monument from the 2014 revolution. Again, 100% of the proceeds going to support the people of Ukraine. So if you check out our website now, it's really inexpensive and just a really amazing way to raise money and come away with a beautiful artifact in a metaverse. So please check it out and give what you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the funding.
Is there one thing I could leave you guys with? So we're supplying the main gallery over here. We're really happy to talk to you guys. We're also looking into a streaming service for artists. So if there are any artists out there that would like to talk to us, come hit us up, and then we can see what we can do for each other.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. That was amazing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That was awesome, man.
Thank you, man.